So I've been working at this, cleaning this Victorian plant stand or Victorian little side table, and I've been just hitting the cast iron, the painted cast iron with a little brass brush. This is actually a suede brush, but it's got nice fine bristles on it. So I've been hitting some of it, just getting the gunk out and dirt and a bit of rust and such, and I'll hit it later with some Windex and a toothbrush. But the marble is stained. Now, it's got rings on it. I don't know if you can see them here through with the camera, but it is kind of got some round rust stains on it. So I checked online to see what kind of different cleaning methods there were, and the one that kind of came up most was a very simple one using baking soda. So this stuff, not baking powder, but baking soda, and it said to create a paste and then put it on the surface and then leave it for 24 hours covered with saran wrap. I don't have any saran wrap, so we're going to use a plastic bag, which should work just as well. So what we're going to do is make some of this paste and go from there. Let's see, that should be enough, hopefully. And a bit of water. You'll recognize these bowls from a previous video that I bought at auction. I was hoping this one was old. It turns out it's modern. So it's just going to the thrift shop anyway. But first of all, I'm going to use it and create this paste. It's a reclaimed spoon here. Oh, I think I got a bit too much water by the looks of it. Throw in some more baking powder and get a thick paste. There we go. Oh, there we go. Now I'm going to need more water. Oh boy. Oh no, there we go. So we got a paste going. So what we'll do is rub it on the surface, and hopefully it'll clean it up. So it said, like I said, to leave it on for 24 hours. So that's what we're going to do. But for you, it'll be instantaneous. You won't have to wait 24 hours for the results. I'll show it to you right away. But first of all, we'll get the spread on. Oh, I almost might need some more water almost. It said to make a paste, so this is a paste. Get it all. Well, let's add a little more water here. Just a little bit. There we go. I don't want it sitting on the cast or I'm going to end up with rust again. I'd like to avoid that if I could, rather than having to deal with more red rust. Okay, I think we've got basically the stained portions covered. One of the things I noticed on there was it said to avoid acidic cleaners, including Windex, which I read too late. I already hit it with Windex, which did clean a bunch of grunge off, but apparently you're not supposed to use Windex on marble, so don't use Windex on marble. Don't make the same mistake I did. Hopefully I didn't do any damage. I don't think I did, but I would think that constant use of Windex on marble would probably be a problem. But so there we go. It's spread out over all of the staining. And we'll put a bit of plastic over top of it so it doesn't evaporate. I assume that's what it's for. And we'll go from there. Alright, so we'll have the reveal in a moment. Alright, got a cloth. Let's see if we can wipe this off. It's looking pretty good actually. Oh my. Yeah, the stains are gone. From what I can see, they're entirely gone. So those rust stains that I mentioned, oh, there's one there. Might have to, oh, that one's just kind of raised. I can pick it off with my fingernail. So basically it cleaned it up pretty good. So yeah, the rust stains are virtually gone. You can see kind of a hint of one, but oh, it even is cleaning off. So yeah, that worked. So cleaning it with the baking soda worked quite well. So there we go. We got a nice clean piece of marble. A little gritty yet, but we'll just keep wiping it off. Turning the cloth here. But yeah, it's nice and clean. My, that worked out nice. Worked out real nice. It's just a little bit of residue that's probably not even rust. It looks like just something on the surface. So that comes off. Yeah, that's beautiful. So that worked out well. Okay, stay tuned for the rest of the cleanup, or the after results anyway. I've got another piece of marble to clean up a bit, and I'm going to work a little bit on the outside edges. Alright, I'm going to work at this a little bit with the little brass bristle brush like I mentioned before. This is a suede brush, but as long as you've got some fine brass bristles, works okay. And I'm just going to work at this rust. I'm not using a steel wire brush because it would take off the paint as well, whereas the brass brush is a little softer. It does potentially take some of the paint off, but it's much softer on the piece. Okay, so we've taken that bit of rust off, and like I said, I'm going to hit it with some Windex and a toothbrush after, just to loosen up, get rid of any dust and such. But just working into the notches and stuff. And just kind of keep at it. I don't really need to clean the underside, but probably should prevent the marble from sucking in rust if it gets moist. So there's a bit there. Just clean it up. It looks a lot better if it's been cleaned. You can see that changes. That's just all loose rust. And I'll grab a screwdriver probably and tighten these a little bit. I'm not sure where it is at this moment, so we'll just leave it for the moment. But I'll tighten up the screws, and while I'm doing that, I'll tighten up the ones on the legs as well. Like I said, this will wipe off with a bit of Windex as well. So, but this is just kind of to loosen up the old grunge. And kind of polish it a little bit. I guess in an ideal scenario, it would be taking it right apart and then going from there, but we're not going to go to that extreme. Because I'd like to maybe put, I don't know, 125 on this after I'm done. As it was, I've paid enough for it that I could double my money on it as it sat. But we'd like to add some value to it. So, and you've really got to account for your time. that you put into things. For example, I've got a sign that is worth cleaning up just next to me here. I don't know if you can see it here. There's a Suncrest sign, and I'm cleaning it, taking off little stains and little rust marks and such, and it's worthwhile cleaning. Whereas something that would be rougher, that probably wouldn't be worthwhile, but I'm adding value to it anyway. Anyway, we'll get back to the little table here and continue on it. And what I'm going to do is turn you off while I'm finishing it up, so you're not bored out of your skulls. Alright, so kind of gave it a brush and polished it up a little bit. Now I'm just going to get rid of the dust that remains. So hitting it with Windex. Oh, I should be removing that. I don't want to get the Windex on the other marble. But you can see that a varnish or polish might actually help it. But anyway, you can see right away that it's dirty. I just want to get some of the grunge out, or the dust from the grunge that we polished off. Probably if I could spray it with Windex to rinse it, that would probably be a good way to go about it too, but what we're going to do is just wipe it down. Bring it out a little bit. You can see there's a lot of grunge on it. So yeah, there's definitely some probably tobacco smoke and who knows what on it. Looks much cleaner. Still haven't got that screwdriver, so we'll just keep cleaning. Now, if you just hit it with Windex and no toothbrush, then you wouldn't loosen up a lot of this dust. So, but it at least saves the patina. The patina's still there, rather than getting rid of all of that. We're not restoring it, we're just kind of bringing it back to displayable condition. Again, a lot of grunge. And there's still some there, but kind of in the deeper spots, but we're still okay. Still looks alright. There we go. Okay, what I'm going to do is finish up the toothbrush portion of the deal, and we'll go from there. We'll continue on the base as well. So here it is. I haven't attacked the feet yet, nor the lower shelf, but I'm going to do that as well. But I'll spare you the time, because it's just a repeat of what I was doing up here. It's not totally spick and span clean, but that's not what I was doing. I was just trying to get it clean enough to sell as it is. If somebody wants to go further and restore it, then more power to them. But I just want to get it into a usable state and saleable state. So I let this dry and gave it a buff. with a rag, a soft rag, and just gave it a buff all the way around. Just wiped down the marble top, wiped off the excess baking powder residue, and it's still got scratches and such, but doesn't have the stains anymore, so that looks a lot better. So yeah, it's getting there. And the brass legs I'm not going to attack with the brass brush. I don't want to shine them up too much, so what I'm going to do is just spray them down with Windex, wipe them off, let the Windex soak a bit, but then wipe them down just to remove cigarette smoke or whatever from the legs. And then the lower shelf, I'll continue with the same method that I did with the upper shelf. So that's about it, folks. Thanks for watching. Hope you got something out of the video. And yeah, so check out our other videos on antiquing, picking, thrifting, scrapping, etc. Take care, folks.